I guess you can hear that beautiful sound of nature. I'm out on my usual nature walk this morning, and in this very lovely and beautiful park. And just thinking of seizing this opportunity to, talk to us a bit about water. Water. So, oh, what's that sound? Oh, beautiful. Yeah, so this is the thing with water, right? It's, it'd be like when you want to start a business, right? You think of nearness to market, nearness to stuff. Water always serves as that point of convergence for nature. So you can hear the birds chirping everywhere. It's that place where nature just finds its way of growing and building around water. And every time we mention water, for most people, it sounds like the most abundant resource we have. But the unfortunate truth is that water, as we know it, is actually a scarce resource. Now, it is true that when you look at the oceans and the seas and all of that, over some would say 7% of the surface of the earth is water. But the big question is, how much of that water is actually available for use? So, only 2.5% of the water you see on planet Earth is fresh water. So most of it is salt water and all the other forms of water that are not readily available for use. And of that 2.5% of fresh water, only 0.3% of that is available on the surface. So you've got 69 or 70% of all of that fresh water in form of ice and snow. You've got over 30% in form of groundwater, where you need to drill boreholes and spend loads of money to be able to access. So, yeah, water looks abundant, but it's not that abundant. And I think we all have responsibilities to protect this scarce resource, because a lot depends on it, not just the fact that we as humans depend on it for, everyday living, drinking. I mean, over 60% of your body mass is water. So you wouldn't survive for long without water, right? So it's very important. Now, a lot of things we do, and because we have this assumption that there's abundance of it, there's this high risk of us taking it for granted and living our lives in ways that would ultimately lead to the reduction or loss of this very vital part of human existence. I've just shown you how nature naturally builds around water. You can hear the sound of the birds. The biodiversity around here is unbelievable. If I come a bit closer, you would see the water flowing peacefully. But you see those tiny green things under there? That's life. And that life plays a key role in this complex interdependency we call nature. And very simple things like the kind of pesticides we use on our pets. Now, when you look around, you see a lot of people walking their pets. Oh, good. That's someone's beautiful, lovely dog. And there are loads of people walking their dogs. Now, the kind of pesticide you use to kill fleas on your pets can play a key role in whether we can keep this essential part of existence or not. Now, these tiny, tiny lives you see in this water might seem insignificant, but when some of those pesticides end up in this water, oh, that dog might be angry with what I'm saying. You won't believe how easy it is for it to lead to the death of some of these macroorganisms in the water. Now, they in the water provide food, some more dogs, for the fish and all the other things you might be interested in. The fish provides food for bigger fish. Some other animals live on the fish. We live on some of those other animals. And so there's that complex interdependency that we need to protect by all means. And so, what can we as individuals do to help the situation? So, a good place to start would be maybe minding the kind of pesticides you use, because oftentimes those pesticides end up in water bodies, not just when these dogs and these animals take a dip as they walk through the water, but also when those things go down the water system. Oftentimes they are not removed and they end up being released into water. So that's one thing we can do. Something else that is fast becoming a menace is microplastics. And now that's a whole complex conversation entirely. Because our dependence on plastics is not one that we can easily overlook. There's a lot you cannot do without plastics. For instance, if I ask you, since waking up this morning, you've woken up on a plastic bed, you've had to brush your teeth, most likely with a plastic toothbrush. You've had to use maybe a face scrub or something that contains loads of plastic. So we must, to an extent, appreciate the role of plastics in our lives. But because it takes them very long to break down, there's so much of it accumulating now in nature that we just have to do something about it. And one of the things we can do is to reduce where we can, reuse if we cannot stop using them. And by reuse, I mean, if you have a plastic bag, how many times can you use it? And not just plastic bags. When you have your clothing materials, do you insist on ones made out of things like silk or cotton instead of plastic ones? So these are simple adjustments as individuals we can do to help this situation. Now, the kind of detergents that you use, the kind of domestic things that you use, do you check to see what they contain? Yeah, so out on a walk, enjoying nature, and just thought I should have a chat with you about how we can preserve this beauty, this nature that means a lot to each and every one of us. That lovely bird is not here by accident. This water has played a significant role in making sure they gather around here. Because water is life. Water is life. And so let me know in the comment section what you do as an individual or what you think we can do to help the situation. But I'll continue my walk and hopefully you would enjoy the view with me. Something else we can do as individuals. Now, if you look at the edge of this water or this river, you can see how it's clearly eroding. So erosion is changing the course, it's affecting it. And simple things that can be done is, if you see this area where there's this grass, it plays a key role in stopping it from being washed away. So a local thing, your local river in your local area, you could just go there and plant a few things around the banks. That's something to do. Still on the interdependency of nature, you can see this park is a haven for many birds as well as a range of plants and other animals. These are some of the birds you may see at this park. Yep. Interdependency of nature, like I said. So imagine all of these birds are not here by accident. There's a relationship between them and the water. And there you go. Loads of them. Having a blast. Oh, is that guy angry? So, is there a fight or something? Water, an essential part of our life. Yeah, I think it's fair to say we all need to do what we can to preserve that 2.5% of this water for the sake of ourselves, the aesthetic value, the lives theming here, and all those other micro lives that we probably do not see. Those ones I've tried to show you in that river. Important.